watching it. If you're watching a football game on Sunday, that's going to be the one because it's going to be the only one played, as far as I know. If they're able to do that on that stage at that time, Mike Norvell is a damn genius. And he has turned this team around and picked them up off the ground and built their confidence and their poise and their, we are Florida State, and we are going to box you. Oh. The possibilities are endless if they knock this team off. Now, I still don't think they can beat Clemson. I don't think they've got the depth or the experience or any of it, really, to beat Clemson. But if they can shock Notre Dame, and it would be a shock, Notre Dame's coming in ranked 9th. But what we have seen over the past 3 or 4 weeks is the point spread come down. It started at like 9-something, and now it's down to like 7. So Florida State is chipping away at that point spread. And this is Vegas, people. These are the people that know what they're talking about. Like, okay, well, maybe FSU does have a damn shot after all. Maybe they do. I don't know. The offensive line's better. I'm not saying it's great. It's better. The defense should be better. The quarterback play should be better. The running backs should be better. I mean, this team should definitely be better than the 3 wins that I had to live through last year. I'm sure I'll talk more about that in my college wrap-up and my college games as we go forward, as we are starting to ramp back up here on the Hitman Podcast. But if you play college fantasy football, okay, I want to point something out to you right now. If you play college fantasy football, it is in your best interest, and I'm not telling you how to run your team or telling you what to do, but if you see somebody have a decent week and they look like it's not just a flash in the pan, maybe take a minute to go to whichever college server you use, whether it's My Fantasy League or Fantrax. Fantrax might be the only one with college these days. I know Yahoo isn't doing it anymore. Go see if that player is available. Because I'm going to tell you, I had a draft this morning, and when I got back to the house, I'd sat down and I'd rested for a little bit, and I thought, well, I'm going to go through my teams, and I'm going to go through my college teams and see if I see anybody that really stuck out on me yesterday that I can, see if I can add to my team. Well, lo and behold, Zach Charbonnet was available in the college portion of our College to Canton League. I was amazed. I'm like, well, it's been 24 hours since he went off and had 3 touchdowns and 100 yards in the first half, and nobody's went and got him. I'm picking him up. That's how it works. So I picked up Zach Charbonnet off the free agent wire about 3 hours ago in hopes of him just duplicating and having the season that we think he can have now that he's away from Michigan and can really have a good last year or two at UCLA. What a pickup that was. I was like, oh, wow. I just hit the jackpot, and this guy is going to be like my last flex player. Oh, I was ecstatic. But do yourself a favor and go look and see. Maybe these people are available. Maybe they're not, but it never hurts to look. Another example. NFL side. The other day, Sony Michel, and Kane, you're listening. This is about you. He's hot on the trigger. Sometimes early bird gets the worm. Okay, when Sony got traded to the Rams, and they're already talking, he's probably going to be the main carrier of the football because, once again, Henderson's hurt. He can't stay healthy. Of course, Michel's had some injury issues of his own, but I go start scouring the waiver wire, and he's been picked up in a couple places by Kane. He was hot on the trigger. Kane went through, seen what leagues he was in, seen what leagues he was available in, picked him up. I did the same thing with Gus Edwards as soon as I saw that J.K. Dobbins had a knee injury yesterday. Now, I had Gus Edwards in a couple of leagues, but I went in, picked him up. In a couple of leagues, he was a free agent. Because as of right now, he's their number one running back. And let's say make a trade and bring somebody else in. He's their guy. And they paid him a lot of money in the offseason for him to have a role with his team already. So they're going to use him. And now that Dobbins is out, he's going to be their guy. That's what it's all about. Early bird gets the worm, and work your teams. I've said this over and over again because this is where it starts. Now we've got our draft seasons are coming to an end. Something else I was going to talk about. I have 2 drafts left. Some people we talked to today in our league, their drafts are done. They're all filled up, and all their drafts are done. I still have 2 left. But now the Christmas presents are over. Now you actually have to put your Christmas presents to use. So, like, say you get an air fryer for Christmas, you open it. Cool, that's an air fryer. Hey, yeah. Well, now you can make chicken wings with it. Now you work your teams. And you start at the top, and you work your way down the list. Every single week. Week after week, week after week, week after week. And that's how you win championships. Or at least make playoff runs. Because you're not going to. I'm in 14 leagues. I'm not winning 14 championships. It's not happening. Okay? But if I could get 12 playoff appearances, 3 or 4 championships, to me that's a winning season. I love that. I'll take that every year. Pays for my next year. But it's happening. It's coming down to it, and we are on the cusp of NFL. We are on the cusp of college football really ramping up and taking off, and I am so excited for what could come this year. I'm interested to see how these rookies do. Every time I see Zach Wilson play, I get a little bit more ramped up about how him and maybe Elijah Moore, once Elijah Moore starts playing, how those guys are going to play together. Really exciting. Looking forward to it. If you're in a best ball league like I am, and you had Travis Etienne on your team, I feel for you. He was my running back too, and we lost him. Liz Frank, if I'm not mistaken, I think I read somewhere it was a Liz Frank injury. Well, it sucks. Next man up. And luckily, if you have any shares of James Robinson tucked away for such an occasion, you're probably going to be okay for a little bit. Unfortunately, yours truly, 1 share as in, I think maybe our auction league. That's the only place I had him. So, it sucks, but injuries are part of the game. Throughout the course of the season, I will be coming to you, maybe not live as much on Podbean. It's easier to go live on Podbean because it's easier to set up and distribute. But I'll be doing my weekly podcasting for on the NFL side, and I'll do my War Chant recap, and then I'll touch base with the college and keep it up to date on the college. It's going to be a little bit different this year. Might actually be doing some shows with a guy named Chris Frazier, who is a big FSU. I call him my FSU news feed because if I can't find it, he lives down there in Florida, and I get a hold of him to see if I can get the scoop if I can't find what I'm looking for in the world of Florida State. But maybe doing some shows with him that may pop up in your listening pleasure. And if you're not an FSU fan, you're probably not going to want to tune in. But we're going to do it anyway. I think we're going to have a couple of those and see how it goes. We have 2 uniquely different styles, him and I. Mine is more of a realistic, like if Jordan Travis goes out and goes 8 for 40 for 100 yards, I'm going to say he had a bad day. Chris is going to find the good news. He's going to find the plus out of that. He goes, well, there was 8 passes, 3 of them are touchdowns. He's an upbeat and a glass half full guy for sure, especially when it comes to FSU. He's always looking at the positive sides. And I always try to find something positive at the end of the day that FSU done. But a lot of times it's like, well, if they played bad, I'm going to say they played bad. Doesn't make me any less or any more of a fan. I'm just going to say they didn't have a very good day. It's just how I am. It's how I've always been. A few things I want to talk about to look forward to. Some things that I've seen throughout the course of the preseason that did, pique my interest, that were important, that are something you want to take with you into the NFL regular season. I'm going to leave you with those. Jameis Winston got the starting nod as the quarterback of the Saints, and I think that does wonders for his stock, obviously, in fantasy. I think it does wonders for the Saints. They made the right pick. He was definitely the right guy. If you watched him play in the last preseason game, the dude was laser focused. He came out, he said, I'm going to win this job. I'm putting this whole thing to bed, and this is my job. Now, that being said, he can't go out and throw 3 touchdowns and 4 picks every game. He won't last as a starter very long. But it's uplifting to me. And I also went and found a share of Marquez Callaway because he seems to have really liked him in the preseason. I picked him up off the free agent wire. I didn't waste a draft pick on him. He was available, and I got him in a league today just in case that combination, it takes off. Zach Wilson, I said I was really looking forward to. If you're looking at rookie running backs, I'm still a little leery on the rookie running backs. A lot of hype with Javonte Williams coming into the league, and he's probably going to get some touches. I mean, I'm a little bit on the fence with him right now as to what role he's going to play. It may take him a few games to get into it. And I drafted Javonte Williams for next year. Going into it, when he got drafted by the Broncos, I said, to me, he's a year 2 play. I'm getting him now, and I'm not really expecting a whole lot out of him year 1. Well, now Gordon's been hurt, hasn't played much in the preseason, and they may be leaning on him a little bit more. But do you play him? To me, it's probably matchup based, especially early on. I don't know that I'll start him in many places unless I absolutely have to. College to Canton League would be one league where I'd have to play him in week 1 just because my team is it's not very deep. It's very, very shallow, and I just don't have anybody, so I'm probably going to have to put him out there week 1. But in leagues where I'm deeper, if you have a deeper bench, don't run him out there right now. I want to wait and see. The wait and see approach is looking good for me. Jamar Chase is another one that I had in the Debbie League, and I was all set to play him in week 1, but now it's like, I think right now, at the first part of the season, I'd rather have T. Higgins. I like that. I like the T. Higgins thing because he's been there. And Burrow working himself back from injury. Maybe him and Chase haven't quite jived. Chase took the whole entire season off. He isn't right back into football form yet. You have to give him, 4 or 5 games to get rolling. So I'm not rolling those guys out there week 1. If I have other options. Just because they're rookies and they're in the new hotness, I'm not going with it right now. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to let it come to me. The one thing that I was really, really optimistic in our best ball league, the charity league we're doing for Alex's Lemonade Stand, it's a charity for childhood cancer, and I'm a part of that, as is Brian Wickham. He's in a team in that charity as well, and the one thing that I'm really happy with is it's funny because the way the draft fell to me, I ended up with 3/4 of the AFC North for my quarterbacks. You start 2; it's a 2 quarterback system, and I got Burrow, Baker, and Big Ben as my 3rd quarterback, and I took him, and I thought, man, I hope he looks good. And I got to tell you, in the preseason game he played, I was very uplifted and excited for the way he looked. I mean, he was able to move around. His arm looked live again. And, if he can keep that up, this is a best ball league. And, the two of the three quarterbacks that were good that week automatically goes in your lineup. So, if he has a season like he's had anything that's close, in his heyday, I'm really excited, with the way Big Ben is to have him in my best ball league. So, another thing that is good to see as I'm watching the New York Giants game right now on the NFL Network is it showed Saquon before pregame out running routes and catching passes, obviously in street clothes, but that's great news to see. And I don't know if he'll be ready for week 1, but just seeing him out running with no brace on his knee or anything like that is a very good sign for one of the most dangerous running backs in the NFL, when healthy. So That is